What's going on, guys? Hey, it's Anthony here at the Breakout Daily. Thank you guys for tuning in today. We're going to talk about some raw books that I've picked up recently. I got a slab I want to share with you, and we're going to go over a couple of things that we saw moving over on the Covrprice website. So stay tuned. What a week, guys. Thank you again for tuning in to us here on the YouTube channel. As always, don't forget to check us out on Instagram at breakperiod.daily, on the Whatnot app at Breakout Daily. Guys, the last full video I did with CGC has done very well. Thank you guys so much. We're going to actually be doing a comments video on that here in the near future. So I look forward to reading and talking through some of the comments on that. And again, guys, drop comments here on this video if you enjoy it. Give it a thumbs up, and we will start building up the comments and going over those as well in video form. And we have a lot of other cool things planned for the Breakout Daily YouTube channel that you're not going to want to miss. Today, I thought I'd change things up. I'm waiting for a CGC order to be processed, so I don't have anything new in regards to that at this time. However, I did have, actually, I've got several stacks of raw books that I need to clean and press, and we're going to go into that in some future videos, because I do want to talk to you guys about cleaning and pressing, or at least the way that I've done it, the way that I've learned to do it. By no stretch of in the imagination am I a high-level professional. I do try to clean and press as often as I can, time permitting, because for me, when I clean and press, I want to take the time to thoroughly go through it. And then, of course, I've got to be available to put it in the humidification chamber and then press it. So it is a timely process. Lately, I've been super busy with a lot of things that are going on, so I haven't been doing it nearly as much as I'd like to. Now, let's put that aside. We're going to talk through a handful of books, talk about some stuff on Covrprice, and let's kick it off with this guy right here. This is the Hood #1. You probably saw this on some of the hot books list. This character is supposed to be coming in the up-and-coming Ironheart. There is a lot of speculation that they will be the big bad. Now, I have one copy here, and then I got another copy on Whatnot that's going to be coming in, so I'll have two copies. This one needs to be pressed, and I will take a look at the other. I'll do probably both of those at the same time for a clean and press. You should look into that one if you are into speculation. If you're not into speculation, guys, there is nothing that ties you to any of these books. If you're a fan of something, then by all means follow it and chase it. We're going to dive into that conversation in a video coming soon. Here's another one. I've had this book for a while. In fact, I've got another copy of this that I got kind of ripped off on. This is Sandman #25, first appearance of the Dead Boy Detectives. This is a show that is coming soon, and I'm super stoked to see what they do with it, because I'm a huge Sandman fan. I have been for a long time, and I'm going to obviously continue to be. I do need to get a higher grade. That is not a near mint copy. I would say at best that could be maybe an 8 and 8.5, but I do want to build that up. I also have some of the runs be outside of the standing Sandman. These, I'm going to just run through these pretty quick. I've been picking up several Blade books. There's a really cool one. Here's another one you may or may not know about. Here's another one you may or may not know about. And then I've got many, many other Blade books as well. For obvious reasons, Blade is coming back to the MCU. And as a kid, the Blade movie was absolutely incredible, in my opinion. At least the first two. The third one, Trinity, I don't know. But I am excited to see. There's been a ton of news about Blade. Directions changing. It's going to be the darkest in the MCU. Super stoked to see what they do with the Blade character and what other characters are going to bring in with Blade. Obviously, there's a lot of speculation that we're going to see the Black Knight, Dane Whitman, join or do something with him. Will we see a revised Midnight Suns? That's yet to be seen or heard, but nonetheless, we're going to see. This is a stack of books. I'm not going to go through each one of these, but something I've been collecting for quite a while. Stack isn't that big. I need to keep on keeping on, but this is all Spawn newsstands. I am a huge Spawn fan. In fact, That is probably one of my first cult collecting between Spawn and the early Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane books. That's really the catalyst of my collecting in my youth in the early 90s. Anyways, these are cool. They're hard to find. These are all in pretty good condition. I'll go through these at a later date. Of course, Spawn number 9, newsstand. So this is something I would keep an eye out for if you're into collecting Spawn, or if you're trying to build a Spawn collection. Again, you don't see them often. At least I haven't seen them often, and I know a lot of people that are on the hunt for these. The Spawn books are on the rise, of course, because the Spawn movie coming here in the near future. We'll go over one slab I did just get. This is pretty cool. It's the Invincible Skybound X 5th Anniversary Edition. This is a reprint of the original, of course. This is the 5th Anniversary Edition, 9/8. I thought this was super cool. I'm a big Invincible fan. In fact, at some point, I will be kind of closing down or reducing some of the collection, because I have got so many Invincible books. It's crazy. As much as I love Invincible, I think I've went a little hog wild. Here's another cool book that you might be able to get affordable at this time. That's Black Widow number 1 from 1999. This is the first full appearance of Yelena Belova, Matt Murdock appearance and wraparound right there. And of course, you know that this goes with the Inhumans number 5. So if you're specking on Yelena Belova, or if you just like the character, you don't have to spec on the up-and-coming Thunderbolts movie or where she's going to appear. If you're a fan of her, you're a fan of her. And maybe you were a fan before her MCU debut, and that's something that you like to collect. That's a great book that I would highly recommend looking into if you are a fan of the character or the story. Now, let's talk about a couple of things. I've got Covrprice pulled up. I wanted to start talking through some of these. Let me look at this. So we're on coverprice.com, guys. I regularly look at Covrprice. I regularly look at Key Collector, regularly look on eBay, GPA. I regularly try to visit these sites because it starts to build some of that institutional knowledge of understanding what keys are hot, what keys are not, some of the key features of books, because while not every book is a first appearance, there are instances where certain books have some monumental thing that increases the value, whether it's scarcity, a moment, a title change, and many other things. And to educate yourself is very important. Also, to keep up on what the market is doing as far as pricing goes. That is such a controversial conversation, I feel like, at this moment, because of what's happening in the market today in the fall of 2022, because we're seeing fire sales, we're seeing record sales, we're seeing so many different things happening right now that the market as a whole is difficult to predict. I still try to educate myself the best that I can. And if and when I do sell books over on the Whatnot app, I try to be as reasonable as possible, given the amount of money I have in the book and then what I'm trying to return it for. So I just try to keep that in mind. Let's just go over just some of the top hot comics. I was going to do some of the weekly shakers and movers, but nonetheless, this is always fun because this is normally some oddballs in the race. So right now we have Venom Lethal Projector number 1 is hot. We've got Fantastic Four 133 is hot. Avengers 40 is hot. Spider-Man number 1 from the McFarlane run, a classic book. I absolutely love this book. I've got several copies raw at this time. I think maybe even a couple still graded. I'd have to look at the inventory. A classic book. Those books, the Spider-Man McFarlane and a lot of the stuff that was happening then is from my childhood. Let's see, Adventure Comics 346. Let's see why that is a key. This is from 1966. That is the first, that's the first appearance of the Karate Kid. I did not know that. Adventure Comics 346 is the first appearance of the Karate Kid. We have Amazing Spider-Man 375, classic cover of Venom and Spidey. Got that hollow web, and that is the first appearance of Anne Wang, Eddie Brock's ex-wife. Later becomes She-Venom, and Carl Brock, Eddie's father. Let's keep going. And again, this is all available on Covrprice. If you guys aren't subscribed to Covrprice, I would highly recommend it. That and Key Collector. Those two, as far as education goes, are great tools. They are not the end all. I often hear that I use Key Collector for this, or I use Covrprice for that, or GPA is this. There is no, let me be clear on this, and I know this is, not everybody's going to like this comment. There is no solid, there's not a blockchain that tracks all of the transactions with comics, period. At this time anyways, period. So you can take what's on eBay, you can take what's on sale at your neighbor's house, you can take what's on Covrprice, you can take what's on on Key Collector, GPA, Go Collect, whatever it is that you're using. And that should only be, in my opinion, a baseline of what the value of the comic is. Because if I am a collector and this is the one book that I'm missing, I'm willing to pay FMV possibly more. If this book is hot, or I believe this book is going to get hotter and it's at a low, I may pay above the most recent recorded prices. I'm going to go into that a little bit further in a different video, but I always find that to be a very interesting conversation because people get hung up on it. The last sale was $10. Well, this book traditionally sells for $250, dude. I've got $150 in it. I'm selling it to you for $200. Those kinds of deals. Again, we're not going into that today. I just find that very, very interesting on what the market's doing. And right now, because of how versatile and crazy the market's moving, it tends to make it a little bit difficult to evaluate what people are going to say or what that fair market is when the market is consistently changing or constantly changing. Another book that's on there is Captain America Annual #8, which is a classic Mike Zeck cover. You may recall Mike Zeck from Secret Wars 8, from The Web of Spider-Man. So many classic covers he's been a part of. I'm going to skip through some of these books. Batman 258 is on the fire, the hot list. Let's see, first appearance of Arkham Asylum, which is super cool. I'm going to just jump through some keys. Puma, the first appearance, Amazing Spider-Man 257. We have The Web of Spider-Man 118. I think I own this book somewhere. I recall seeing, maybe I sold it for cheap, not knowing what it was. First appearance of Scarlet Spider. Of course, X-Men #12, the original from 1965. First appearance period, I believe, of Juggernaut, which is classic. That is one of those classic books. Let me kind of skip through. X-Men 14, another classic book, is on this list as well from 1965. First appearance of the Sentinels. Batman 666. This is the first full appearance of Damian Wayne as Batman. First cameo appearance of Professor Pig, depending on how you want to say it. That book's been on fire for a while. So I got the hiccups there for a minute. First Amazing Spider-Man 51. I just sold this book, and I shouldn't have sold it. It is the first cover and second appearance of Kingpin. Moon Knight #1 is getting a little bit of heat. That book is funny because Moon Knight #1 from the 1980s series, I think, is such a crazy book as far as price influx goes. It just is wild to me. But right now it is saying, and this is a key because it's the first self-titled and ongoing series of Moon Knight, origin of Moon Knight, first appearance of Bushman and Khonshu. Right now, most recently, a 9.4 sold for about $130. Yeah, the price, or no, 11.22, one sold for $200. 9.8s are at $300, so they're still very affordable. The prices, again, are kind of all over the place. 9.6s have been down, but yet 9.4s, I don't know, could have been signed or something special with it. I do have a couple of copies in the 9.6 grade that I am not letting go until I continue to see the price go up, because I feel like that one took a big hit. Nonetheless, a great book. Let's see, Amazing Spider-Man 344. I believe that's first appearance of Cletus Cassidy. Yes, it is. So those are some of the hot books that Covrprice is marking, and I couldn't agree more that that is a nice assortment of both keys. There was some non-keys, but just great books listed in here as well, to include Strange Tales 134, Avengers 20, and many others. And again, I can't stress trying to educate yourself the best of your ability. Now, also keep in mind, have fun with the hobby. I often feel like, and I'm going to close on this sentiment, I often feel like, because I regularly host Whatnot shows, I'm in a ton of their shows, I'm constantly checking out eBay, I'm constantly checking out Covrprice, doing YouTube and all of these social media platforms and all these different things. One thing that I feel like people lose sight of is having fun with the hobby, guys. A lot of focus around the price, a lot of focus around this, and I've got to get it for a steal or I'm not getting it. Guys, at the end of the day, if you're a part of the comic book community, we're all in this together. We're all in it to have fun. We're all in it to collect what it is that you want to collect. And I have had an incredible time doing this. I've been incredibly fortunate with meeting some incredible people. I've bought and sold some great books. My PC, I love where I'm going with my personal collection. I talked about these Spawn books. I'm like a kid in a candy store when I can find one of these, whether it's on Whatnot or at the LCS, or whether I'm traveling and I see a newsstand Spawn. It is a blast. The hunt for me is a large portion of what I absolutely love. In addition to that, I love the collecting. I love the feeling of FOMO. I don't like always getting trapped in FOMO because I've made some pretty dumb decisions because of FOMO. But I love the hype around it. I love the stories that I've been told. I love seeing the characters come to life on the big screen and the small screen as well. And it has been probably one of the most enjoyable hobbies that I've ever been a part of. And we've got a lot of cool things planned for the YouTube channel here. We've got cool stuff planned for the Breakout Daily over on Whatnot. And of course on IG, Facebook, and everywhere else, guys. This is today's video. I know it's a little different from the last week's video. I wanted to share some stuff that I'm collecting and I'm not suggesting any of this stuff to you, because really I don't want you to buy this stuff so I can continue to buy it. But I wanted to shake it up, talk about some of the hot books that Covrprice has recorded, seeing movement and prices start to jump. And of course, remind you that we're all in this together. Enjoy the hobby for the most part. Try to have fun. Talk with the community. Again, drop some comments down below if you enjoyed this content. What are you guys specking on? What are you collecting? Doesn't have to be a spec book. In fact, I've got tons of books that are not even related to spec that I absolutely love. And that's where we're going to wrap it up today. So again, guys, please take a moment, hit the subscribe button here on YouTube. Feel free to check us out over on Instagram at breakperiod.daily and on the Whatnot app. If you just want to come and hang out, I'm not even saying buy anything from us. Jump over to the Whatnot app. There's a link down below that'll give you, I believe it's $15 free. So you can go get a free book from me or from anybody else, or maybe 2 books, 3 books. I don't know, depending on what you're trying to buy. Absolutely free, no strings attached. All you got to do is just use the link, sign up, and then off you go. That being said, guys, make sure and stick around because, again, we've got some fun and exciting things coming to the YouTube channel. And guys, we'll see you in the next video.